We were here today for the Environment, Education, and Sustainability Committee meeting on November 2nd, 3:08. Can I have a call to order? Roll call.
As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll for Ms. Simon.
Here.
Ms. Turner.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Stevens. Ms. Stevens is absent at the moment. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Public comment?
There's no public comment, Madam Chair.
We do have minutes from our October 5th meeting. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. First resolution, I think we have 3 items today. The first one is 2022-0351. Can that be read, please?
Resolution 2022-0351, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the West Creek Conservancy for the reclamation and adaptive reuse of the former Haydite mine from the District 6 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Who's here to speak? Derek Schaefer?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to see you.
Absolutely. My name is Derek Schaefer. I'm with West Creek Conservancy, and I think I'm able to pull up a PowerPoint. Is that correct? Because it was just a couple slides to kind of orient you to the site.
And Mr. Schaefer, could you speak into the microphone, please? Thank
Maybe
you.
I'll raise the microphone. Is that better? All right. So this is, how do I go back? Okay. This is the former Haydite mine located within the city of Independence. It's kind of an unknown site, and that's for good reasons at this point. Has over 180-year history. It's about 100 acres off a stone road. It's kind of pinched between the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad, the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, the Hemlock Creek Trail. It contains a Native American site on the property as well. Haydite's a material kind of formed out of shale, heated in a long kiln, and West Creek Conservancy took ownership in late 2018. The mine ceased operations immediately, and now we're in the point of reclamation so we can restore and reclaim the site and add portions and parts to the national park, as well as redevelop the site for the community to enjoy. And I just pulled up a map to just kind of orient you. If you know where the Cleveland Clinic Business Operations Center is off of Route 21 in Independence, it sits at the end of Stone Road, which is a dead-end road, and you kind of dead-end right into the site. And we're in kind of a multiple track process here in terms of reclamation. First, the funding that we've respectfully requested is, so that's, I don't know how to, sorry. So that's just a couple pictures of what the site formerly looked like. Site in partnership with the City of Independence and DiGeronimo companies. And every piece of equipment has been removed except for that industrial kiln that's left on the site. It's kind of an industrial piece of history. So we're trying to figure out how to integrate it into the site. It sits 100 feet above the ground. It's 15 feet in diameter. Looks like a giant cannon. But it adds to the uniqueness of the site because this is an opportunity to honor the site's history in terms of industrialism, but also we have a scenic water trail, we have the scenic rail, the national park, a Native American site, and now this is the time to restore the ecology so we can integrate it into the community in a little more proper of a fashion. As of, well, this was April, and that's the body of water when the mine ran. Water was pumped out so they could actually mine the Haydite and the shale. But as the mine ceased operations, water is naturally infiltrating the site. The totality of the body of water will equate to about 34 acres of water. So once that body of water rises, we need to essentially daylight the stream. And this is a really difficult schematic to look at, but essentially we have a lot of grading and sculpting on the site to do, and we need to daylight a couple thousand feet of stream around the Native American site as the body of water elevates and pushes underneath the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Rail and into the National Park and Cuyahoga River. So we have the first phase is a lot of grading, sculpting, capping, and vegetating. The second, and this is in parallel with the daylighting of the stream throughout the site, which will lead to eventual redevelopment of the site. And again, integrating recreation, history, environmental restoration, and essentially integration into the community while obviously honoring its archaeological and natural history. So it's it has lots of goals. We've done a lot of discovery. We have to work with the whole plethora of stakeholders, whether that's City of Independence, Cuyahoga County, Sewer District, Scenic Rail, Army Corps, Highway PA, ODNR. Every acronym you can probably think of is probably involved with the planning of this site. We've respectfully requested $250,000, and we do have $250,000 cash in hand to apply to the project as well. So that's our project. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Councilman Trahan, you want to speak to this?
Well,
And
the-
then questions from committee?
Sure. I would like to, from the standpoint of what we did in District 6 is the various mayors put forth their programs and submitted it to review committee. And obviously, this must have passed the mustard for the review committee, and I'm thrilled about that. I'm thrilled that you've found a way to reclaim a site that was used industrial and not been converted back. And so what a great way to tell the story in that respect out there. When you say, just a question more than anything else, you say you're going to open up the waterway after the water fills up. I didn't see where it connected. I just saw a little dash, dash, dash.
Yeah, the dash is difficult to see. So
Is that going underground, does that mean?
So right now, there is a portion of the stream that is underground for a couple thousand feet. So the body of water will rise to, I think, an elevation of 620 feet above sea level. And then we have to daylight the stream where it's currently in a pipe. And it'll run in a easterly direction underneath the scenic railroad into the Cuyahoga River.
Okay, so that drawing, when you say daylight, it's not going to actually see daylight until it gets beyond the railroad.
It'll see daylight. That is very difficult to see.
Can I just ask, what do you mean by daylight?
So currently, the stream is in a pipe. So it was piped 100 years ago. So basically, it has a very unnatural function going into the Cuyahoga River, and it's actually taking a lot of sediment with it and a lot of nutrients and a lot of debris. So it's actually clogging a culvert near the scenic railroad. So that's why there's a partnership with the Scenic Rail and National Park to restore the entirety of the stream, get it out of the pipe, get it actually into floodplain so it can infiltrate naturally and revegetate the entirety of the site. So where there is no stream on the site, like physically seen, is about a couple thousand feet from that body of water to the rail. So we'll be opening it up so it'll be a natural body of water exiting underneath to the railroad, underneath the railroad, into the national park.
So it's just going to naturally percolate from the body of water.
Yes.
Whatever nature moves it and whatever path it moves it, it's kind of like college students on a college campus.
Fair enough.
Until you put the sidewalks in, it'll find its own way and eventually get to the.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, sounds great.
Great project. Are you removing the pipe altogether?
Yeah.
Or it's going to be gone?
Yeah, we have to remove it, and there's a lot of infrastructure that we've had to work around, but it's more advantageous at this point not to crush it below, but just to fully remove it,
Yep.
completely alleviate the floodplain and allow, natural meandering.
You also be creating a depression that's
Absolutely.
going to follow, it's going to follow wherever
Yep.
wherever that pipe was.
And we already have enough stuff in the ground there, it'd be great to get it out.
Absolutely. So tell me, is Independence giving any money toward the project? The
West
city?
Creek Conservancy is.
The West Creek.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And Native American site, what can you
So
elaborate on that?
It's a documented Native American site. I believe it's referred to as South Park. So if you look out on an aerial, so let's find the best spot to see it. You kind of see where the brown area is next to the body of water. It's a very large mounded area. You enter the site, it's precariously the only wooded area, and it's a documented Native American site, and there is a easement held by the Cuyahoga Valley National Park as well.
The site, what constitutes a site? Where
That is a
the-
great question for the national park.
Okay, thank you. It's above your pay grade, huh, Derek? Okay.
That's kind of
I
something
will-
we assumed.
Okay.
And I'm not touching it.
Okay, I mean, this mine itself, what caused it to just decline? Is that just the market forces, no
No,
longer
this
material?
was-
It's just ain't,
End of 2018, and it had seen its span, and there was an opportunity to work with the DiGeronimo family to take it into reclamation. I can't speak for the DiGeronimo family, obviously, but it was the right time for it to go into conservation and integrate it back into the community.
okay, I don't have any more questions. I do want to add my name. Are there questions from committee members?
Do you have any idea what the donation would have been worth then for the DiGeronimo? Just, I mean, if they donated, they ought to at least get as many accolades every once in a while as
That
possible.
is a very good question for Mr. Vito DiGeronimo.
Oh, you don't have a rough idea even as to what?
No, yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Well, it just, when people do nice things, you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
yes.
Madam Chair, I'd like to support our colleague and add my name.
Thank you. Great, good to see you, Derek. So I'm
Absolutely.
going to make a motion, or Councilman Tron, can you make your motion?
I'll make the motion, sure.
Make it.
I move that we adopt Resolution 0321, move for second reading.
Thank you. Second, all in favor?
Second?
Oh, wait,
Oh, you
Councilwoman
seconded.
Turner, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So
right,
this will
thank you
go
so
for
much.
second reading, and by the end of November, it will have a third reading.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thanks for your work. Okay, next item, 2022-0356.
Resolution 2022-0356, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the Village of Chagrin Falls for the wastewater treatment plant green energy efficiency improvement project from the District 6 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Thank you. I'm Bill Tomka, I'm the mayor of Chagrin. Our number one goal in Chagrin Falls is to be the best stewards of the environment and fiduciaries of our taxpayer dollars that we can. Our active protection of the environment goes back over 30 years when we were founding communities of the Chagrin River Watershed Partners. Starting in the 2000s, we started replacing our indoor and outdoor lighting with energy-efficient LEDs. More recently, we were replacing our electric motors and pumps with more energy-efficient variable speed motors. The savings have been significant, both in kilowatts and cost. The solar project is just the most recent addition to our program. When we looked at the more likely market pricing environment for June of '23, when our current power purchase contract expires, we realized that our power costs would go up between 200 and 300%. The wastewater treatment plant is the biggest consumer of kilowatt hours in the village. We brought some hard copies of what we'd given you. Have you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, very good. We immediately undertook a study as to how we could hold down these costs by operating the plant, and keep utility rates as low as possible. Being in a confined area and in a river valley, the solar was the best renewable power option available to us. After an extensive study, we believe we can produce over 40% of the plant's power needs with solar-generated power. We project this power will have a levelized cost of power of between 5 and 6 cents per kilowatt hour. We believe, based upon published studies and our investigation, that the market price for power will be in the 8 to 9 cent range in '23. Accordingly, our savings will be immediate. A key to understanding the solar installation is the projected life of 25 years. Our power costs will remain fixed in the 5 to 6 range for the 25-year period, starting in 2023 and using a 3% per annum projection for increases in market price of power results in a projected 200% increase in market power costs over the 25-year period. Using this projection, the solar installation will save our utility users about $740,000 over the 25-year life. Our wastewater treatment plant serves approximately 2,000 customers in parts of 6 communities, so the benefits from this program will be widespread. This is a shovel-ready project. We plan to go to council for approval to go to bid on the 14th and construction to start sometime in January or February. So in conclusion, this is one of those rare projects that offers both material and environmental benefits and allows the village to fulfill our obligations to our ratepayers, to be good fiduciaries of their dollars. Are there any questions?
Councilman Schron is sponsor.
Yes, first, I'm excited about the project. I will put a disclaimer out right up front. Only because I'm on a well, I had a well before any of this and not using, so I will receive zero benefit from this going into my community. So I won't, but I am wholeheartedly in favor of it, in supportive of the concept. Your reference to the solar panels, what's the timing of your being able to get access? Because all I'm hearing from everybody is
We believe
there's a backlog.
we're going out to bid, so you never know until you go out to bid. But based on the conversations we had, they are available, and we believe we can have this project online by June or July of '23. We are targeting as high a domestic content as we can. The Inflation Reduction Act of last August gives you a 10% bonus in direct federal payment for domestic content if you can make 40% domestic content, and we're targeting as high a percentage as we can get. Hopefully we'll be well above the 40%. Some of the stuff just isn't available.
So the bulk of the content will be the panels, I assume, the bulk of the cost.
Actually, panels have fallen so much in cost, they won't necessarily be the bulk of the cost. You've got labor, of course, being a big component. We are paying the prevailing wage on this project. So I don't have an exact breakdown. I think the panels will be around 50% of the total cost.
Does the Inflation Reduction Act, does it pick up both labor and materials, or I
Yeah,
thought it was just
well, it's a
materials?
total project cost.
Oh, it is?
How that works
Okay.
is you get a total, obviously the contract, and just for round numbers, call it $1 million. You subtract any other grants we get, for example, the county grant, you're down to 750, and then you get a 30% credit. And in the case of not being a tax-paying entity, they've added, and this is new, a direct payment from the federal government of 30% of that cost. And then if you meet the criteria for the bonus, you get another 10%, which is, there's several things, paying a prevailing wage, which of course we have to do, and domestic content being 40% or more of the project cost, you get an additional 10%. So
They're practically
total.
paying you to put this project in, aren't they, by the time you?
Well,
when you
yeah, I
step
mean,
it
it's,
off?
we believe it'll be about $1 million project when it's all said and done. And the balance will be paid out of the village funds.
Well, and I'm sure you're well aware that the domestic panels are being made right here in Ohio. So you could probably, if you haven't tapped into the governor or anybody like that for getting their attention, this would be
Yeah,
the kind of projects I would think that between domestic content, state content, and the desire to do clean energy, I would think
Right.
that.
We've been in contact with Progressive Insurance, and you may have noticed their big solar field right off 271 as you go north. And I believe their panels came out of Ohio or Buffalo. I can't
Right, they came out of Toledo, I'm sure.
Toledo.
Yep.
Toledo or Buffalo. I think it was Toledo.
Yeah.
But that's quite a large project and a successful one as far as I know.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to present. And any other questions?
Any other questions? I don't.
Yes.
President Jones?
Just for clarity, the total project is $1 million?
That's what we're estimating. You know, you never know until you go out, but that's what we're estimating.
So in 250 from us to 750, I know you may have said, I just didn't catch it. Where does the other 700, or
Well,
approximately?
some of it
700
comes from those direct payments under the Federal Reduction Act, and the balance of it will come out of the village funds.
funds? And this will benefit every resident of the city, or is this just?
I believe every resident, well, almost all of our residents are connected to the sanitary sewer, so it'll benefit them. We service other communities besides Chagrin. We service parts of Bentleyville, parts of Moreland Hills, Chagrin Township, parts of South Russell, parts of Russell, and parts of Bainbridge. So there's a large service area that's served by this, and about 2,000 homes will benefit from this. So it's spread, and you know, we're all our rate payers, so you like to hold down the rates as much as you can.
So with this coming spike next summer, I guess, do you expect their electric bill to go down or maybe stay the same?
Right now,
because
we
of
have a
what we-
power purchase agreement. Your electric bill commercially is made up of two components. It's the power purchase agreement, which is the purchase of the kilowatt hours, just the kilowatt hour. And then you have your local utility, in this case, First Energy, that applies a demand charge and a distribution charge on top of the power purchase agreement. None of this will directly affect that. So our power purchase agreement now is quite old, and we got it when natural gas and the other things were very low. We were paying 3.5 cents a kilowatt hour. We were looking at an increase from 3.5 cents to 8 to 9 cents, which would have taken our power costs from 8 cents to 13, 14 cents. And if you do the math, that was going to be a very material increase in power costs. Now, the power costs will go up from 3.5 with the solar, but won't go up nearly as much as it would without the solar. So we're trying to attenuate the increases, and that's why I gave you in the package that Cranes article. I don't think it's filtered through to the average ratepayer, but you're going to be looking at some huge increases in electrical costs next year.
But all the residents of Cuyahoga County can expect an increase.
Yes,
That's coming for us this summer.
I
But with this,
would think that's a very fair statement.
yeah, but with this, you hope to mitigate the
Exactly,
increase
to the extent we can.
and that you can. Okay. How many panels will you be building and where are they again?
I'm not sure the exact number. Maybe I've got that here. But we use, we're getting a kilowatt output of 607,649 kilowatt hours.
Gonna be 154 roof-mounted panels and then 884 ground-mounted panels.
What type of roofs will these go on the homes of individuals or?
No, it'll be on the plant, in the plant perimeter. So it'll be at the wastewater treatment plant. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Can you identify yourself for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm Alexa Chivas. I'm Assistant Village Engineer for sure.
Nice. Well, welcome. Yeah, great. So where is this wastewater plant?
Right
It
off
relate-
Miles Road on Orchard Street in Chagrin Falls. As you come into Chagrin on Miles, you go around a curve and right down on the left. And it's actually the site of the old interurban power stations. If you remember there or read about the interurbans, there was a power station right there in the 1890s. And so Chagrin was electrified very early in the period. So that's where it was at. And so we built on that site.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor,
Councilman
we're both dating ourselves to talk about the interurban line, but my grandfather used to take from right here in Collinwood, take the interurban line and work at that paper mill, and it would take you all the way out there by an electric trolley back in those days.
Yeah, as I understand it, the interurban terminal down here is right about where the baseball field is. There was, I guess it was, all that was torn down when they put the Gund and Progressive Field in there.
Well, we were one of the top cities in the entire world as far as the transportation and between
Oh, there's no question
RTA
about
and
it.
between the interurban and all the things that we did early on.
I
Unfortunately, we missed
understand
the
that
boat
it
on some of
wasn't until the early 1970s when I-90 was completed all the way that you could get from Cleveland to Chardon as fast as you could and get in the 1890s on the interurban lines.
With the fact that you're coming here before this council and asking for funding ultimately through the ARPA, it seems to me that there's also kind of an obligation, I hate to say it, but to talk to other communities about this of, if this is not a huge project, but it's a big project as far as Chagrin Falls, there's other townships and counties, or in the county, and our 59 communities that I would think would welcome your learning experience.
I've been in conversation with Northeast Regional Sewer District with Kyle. I know Kyle personally, and I'm going to forward everything to her when we get the bids. And I've been in contact with Mayor Kraus in Solon about forwarding it to him as well. And Geauga County, I've talked with them about, they own a number of wastewater treatment plants, and they're evaluating this too.
It's a perfect example of.
Yeah, what's really
Public-
good
public
about
need for
that
sewers
is
and so
a
on.
wastewater plant obviously runs 24/7, and the power demand is relatively constant. So you can be pretty confident of using all the power and not having to, the backfeed into the plant. So it's a very efficient system. And we have some room to expand this if it pans out as planned. So we would intend to do that.
As a public project, you made a bold statement that you're going to be doing this by next summer. And I don't want to speak for the chairman of this committee, but I would think that this would be a nice vignette to have a presentation.
Oh,
saying,
that's
You're here today,
absolutely.
you're making a presentation, you say it's going to be in by next summer. By next fall, you could be we could be actually doing an update and saying, how did it turn out?
Yeah.
To convince other
Well,
communities.
I would welcome that, and, we would like to show that off, and, we'll be an open book to any other community that wants to do this. CT is our engineer, CT Consultants, and they're working on the engineering and, reviewed the plans, and, it can be completely compatible.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate this project, Councilman Tron.
I'll
and
be
the work.
happy to move to this, go forward for a second reading.
I just want to say that, the county has a solar array in about the Brooklyn array that we won an award, and it's really been an advantage, and everybody's looking forward now.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, I was a skeptic on this until I got into it and really dug in, and the technology's progressed, and it's progressing. But wastewater plant, because of the 24/7 operation, is an ideal application for this.
And I'm glad to hear the panels are going down with in
Yeah.
cost, which is amazing, so.
I remember having a breakfast at yours truly on this discussion, Mr. Mayor.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Right,
How much is one panel? As the costs have come down, is it cost per, what does a panel cost?
I don't
And has
know
it
what
come-
the panel costs. I
Ultimately,
don't
what
think
I'm really asking, has it gotten to the point where an individual homeowner might
Oh, sure.
consider?
For now, we have the solar co-op here at the county sustainability department, which has been absolutely aggregating homeowners to enable them to get very low.
Yeah, I don't know the
of it.
individual panel.
No, but we can talk about that because we're aggregating pools of residents to be able to buy as a co-op for their homes.
One last question.
One thing of the panel cost, it doesn't have an answer because panels have different outputs. And right now, we've got the highest output panel that's, in mass market, which is 480 watts per panel. There are panels that go up to 490 watts, and there's some that are in the laboratory that go up to 500 and 540 even. But as you go up in the power production, you go up in the price. So if you went down to a 400 watt panel, it would be a lot cheaper than the 480. But where the trade-off is in the cost is where it breaks. So you got to look, and it didn't make sense to go to the 484. You're just gathering 2% or 5% in output, and the price increase was more than 5%. So you were going backwards instead of forwards.
And the technology's
Another
changing.
question.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
One question. The life expectancy of the.
25, you have a warranty on the panels of 30 years. You start to lose 0.5% of efficiency per year, starting around 18 years. So the break point is probably around 25 years where it pays to upgrade it. And, the technology is changing so fast. There are panels in the laboratory, not even in the prototype stage, that will get more of the bandwidth of light than this and are up into the 30% efficiency. Right now, these panels that we're talking about convert around 22% of the light into energy. Some of the ones in the laboratory that they're still trying to perfect and get into the prototype stage will convert over 30%. So if you've got a 50% increase in power output, at some point it makes sense to replace them if you can use all of the power. So this is happening very, very rapidly.
Thank you.
Councilman Strong.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago that the panels themselves, if one panel is degrading, unfortunately, that became the standard for the entire system. It would never produce any more
I
than the
can't keep
lowest.
straight of which is which, and if they were wired in series
Right.
or in that, but
Well, the
you're absolutely
electronics
right.
are now
Well, it was
allowing you
even worse than that, Jack, is if you got a shadow over one part of the panel,
Yes.
that was the gating for the whole panel. So there's been ways that they've worked around that.
And that's all software driven, it's all computer driven. It's technology and innovation that didn't even exist 5 and 10 years ago. It now says, oh, if you're low, I don't care about you. I'm gonna go to find the highest one to produce it. And so they're gonna
Yeah.
grab the highest output out of all the panels. They're not gonna go to the lowest denominator, they're gonna go to the highest denominator. So it's pretty exciting, watching technology grow.
So there's a motion from Councilman Sharon. Do I have a second? So move
Second.
this to the next council meeting for second
Second.
reading with a recommendation of passage. A second from President Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
And
We'll
please
have you
add my
come
name.
back. I'm going to add my name. And I
Add
think
my
we're going to
name.
do a solar committee meeting of all the solar innovation happening in the county.
Yeah, we'd be glad to come
So it'd be really
back for
interesting
that.
to do that here. And even the homes with the co-ops, I think we should all know about
Well,
as leaders.
if you're going to do innovation, I just want to throw an idea out there, and I've said it many times before with my colleagues. I would love to one day see a solar panel placed on a car.
Yeah, well,
just so that-
they're experimenting with that.
Right, we've lost children and pets
Yeah.
to heat, and if you could just not cool a car, but just raise it above the death level.
Yeah. Well, another thing you might be interested if you do come out is we've replaced the use of chlorine totally with the sanitation of the discharge, and we've gone to a high-efficiency UV light system. So we've gotten rid of all those hazardous chemicals at the plant and are not sterilizing, sanitizing, I guess is the right word, the effluent using ultraviolet light, which these will also do. So we're getting very efficient with the plant design.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much.
Madam Chair, may I confirm that this is for second reading to council?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item, Resolution 2022-0361, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to Environmental Health Watch for the Fresh Fest Cleveland Urban Farm, Food, Arts, and Music Festival from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hello, hi. I want to make sure I'm advancing these slides. I did provide slides for review. And so I wanted to make sure we understand that this is more than just a music festival.
Can
It really
you,
has
so you are who?
Tim Foreman from Environmental Health Watch. I'm the CEO of Environmental
CEO
Health
of
Watch.
Environmental
Yes,
Health
great.
Watch. Okay, thanks. And we're here today about Fresh Fest Cleveland. Go ahead.
Yes, hello. So the presenting partners are Environmental Health Watch, Brittany's Record Shop, and Riddock Green Partnership. And we host the festival at Riddock Partnership with, that's a side to the Otter Park Farm, Otter Park. So it's between 81st, 83rd. Off of Kinsman Road in the Urban Ag District. And so we have a long-standing history working in the central community and with the neighbors. And this is kind of a result of the work we've done around food, arts, and culture and prepping that community to host a festival of scale like Fresh Fest. And great. So we really curate the space and invite folks to come in and really make art together. It's very interactive. We introduce health and wellness, quality of life workshops, conversations, as well as activities like yoga, singing bowls. We have very healthy vendors. We provide vegan food, vegetarian food. Riddock has a restaurant on site. And so people from all over are introduced to entrepreneurs in the community as well as throughout the county. And so in order to infuse the equity in our model, we make sure people from Central, entrepreneurs from Central, artists from Central, they don't pay for a table, for example. All of our artists are paid equitably, right, to perform or to produce programming. And so we view entrepreneurialism as a pathway to our economic sustainability and a way to build community wealth, fostering Black ownership in a Black community. And one aim for us through the Fresh Flow process and through this placemaking piece was to really shape the narrative about Garden Valley. There's been a lot of negative stereotypes, and we are a new festival. We're 3 years in, but it's been extremely positive experience and something different for people to enjoy, and bringing folks from other communities across the county and the state into a space that otherwise they might not have visited. We also have included residents and artists in the planning and execution of the festival. So I'm going to turn to some of our recap report from 2022. And so we had initially, the first year was 2019. We had an estimated 6,000 attend. And then we grew 2021, 2022 to 7,500. And we're expecting an annual increase of 25%. And so we try to look at fundraising in regards to growing and growth and make sure I'm prepared for additional attendees. And so we do have room to grow and expand in that space. Our ultimate goal is to get to 10,000 people. So these are some stats in regards to who's attending. We have 39% from Cleveland Heights, 10% from Bedford Heights, 8% Shaker, 7% Euclid, 4% University Heights, 3% Maple Heights, 2.5% from Lakewood, 2.5% from outside of Ohio, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. And these are our registration numbers that my marketing consultant tabulated. And so we are growing, a lot of buzz. We got to be on Kicking It with Kenny this year. So every year we have more and more vendors and more support. So it's really out there. We have what I'm proud to say, government officials attending, from residents, families, children, seniors. I mean, this is really, really a great place to be for everyone to enjoy, and we have something for everyone. And so we have a Facebook page, we're on social media, and so this is how we're monitoring the interest. And so we really think that we want to make sure that we gather feedback as we go. We definitely have more things to consider around registration, attendance, closing up the farm, right? So we're working those logistics out, but for the most part, it's very smooth. We have a lot of support from security and other vendors and the city to kind of help us grow this festival. So this is just a representation of the people that come, the people that attend. And this is what we feel community really looks like and feels like. And we have a very welcoming atmosphere. So definitely, we started at about 80,000 a year, increased to over 100. Right now, I'm at about 130,000 to produce the festival and feel comfortable with being able to integrate everything and execute properly. So thank you.
Any questions?
Oh, go ahead.
Not so much a question. Well, first, Kim, it's good to see you.
Hi,
I
nice
have
to see you.
worked with Kim Foreman over the years. She has been an environmental advocate, if that's an accurate term, for years. We've had opportunities to work in a property that I own. And we hosted many events over the years, even before I was in elected office.
Right.
So, it's just good to see you still in this world and doing good work. And I was looking to see if I could see myself in that picture somewhere.
Did you come?
But it's a fantastic event, and I almost proudly say, but my district is an area I represent has the bulk of public housing. Mm-hmm. Times have been called the poorest ward in the poorest big city in the country. We're ground zero for the need for fresh food, and ground zero for something great like this that again attracts so many people. A great, safe, wonderful event that is just a gem. Riddle gets many benefits from. We get to partner with Riddle in many areas. Our veterans who struggle with PTSD. This where you see here is just a very serene environment. The federal government comes in and wants to help those with PTSD, and they have office buildings in Warrensville Heights. So they contract with Riddle right here because you can bring an individual to this setting right here in the heart of our district. So I'm just taking a moment to brag on you a little bit and all this good work that you've been doing. So I just want to say that, and I may have a question a little later.
Yeah, thank you. So in addition to the festival, we actually are working on a food cooperative in that community with about 15, 20 residents that live there with stakeholders. So we do more work within that neighborhood. And hopefully one day when we get enough resources, we could expand programming around Fresh Fest throughout the year and focus on the pillars, the individual pillars, and branch out.
Councilman Schron.
Yeah, I applaud you on the fresh food and fresh eating and healthy eating out there. As I think Dr. Royson says, You decide what you're going to eat today. You decide whether you're going to smoke a cigarette, whether you're going to exercise, whether you're going to drink alcohol to the excess. Those 4 things control probably your health more than anything else you can do out there. If you can do those 4, the 5th one you can't control, which is your genetics. But how do you? It's a festival, and no offense to my good mayor out here, our festivals have elephant ears and cotton candy and stuff. How do you keep that stuff out of the healthy eating? Are they still, are those events, are those things allowed to come in there?
We do, but we have like a portion, right? It's not filled with unhealthy eating options. It's generally 95% of our vendors who provide food are vegan or vegetarian or healthy foods, and we have chefs and that come in and do talks and demonstrations as well. And then just the place we're in with Rittal, their restaurant is all vegan. So it's like an introduction and also a place for people that want to enjoy healthy food that tastes good. It's a place for them to come as well. So I think throughout the years, all of my meetings, even when I started in 2010, in the Fairfax, Woodland, Kinsman Central, we really focus on feeding people meatless food. We had cooking classes. So this is kind of a culmination almost of all the work we've done trying to prepare people and create a culture of what healthy eating can look like versus what you assume it is. And just introducing that. It's been a decade or so of that. So this is just a place where people are known. We're known for it. Rittal is known for it. Environmental Health Watch do neighborhood leadership for environmental health projects and initiatives. It's like, that's what we do. And so people come together around it because they already been kind of primed and prepped and educated on that. So this is just further the education because we don't beat people over the head with it. We have some other offerings, but when you come to Fresh Fest, you're definitely going to eat healthy.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Congratulations. I know that
Thank you.
our council president mentioned the mental health aspect potentially with PTSD. I hope you also, I assume you're also talking about the other components that I mentioned, like exercise and things of that nature.
Yes, we have yoga. We start off the day with yoga. People would come and do that. Now, I don't have any aerobic exercises. I don't think people are going to come for that, but we have dancing. We at the end, like everyone is like dancing and moving around with each other, but definitely we start with yoga, chair yoga for seniors, and then people bring their mats and participate and practice yoga.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Any other questions? So Environmental Health Watch, can you just give us a very quick history? I mean, I wanted to focus on environmental justice and a longstanding organization that has been demonstrating how that can be, remedied and actually, highlighted. So tell us a minute about Environmental Health Watch.
Well, we're a 40-year-old organization, and I've been there 20-plus years. And we have our new mission. Our new mission is to create healthy, regenerative communities by justly enriching environments and respecting the value of people in place. And that came out of our sustainability statement. Like, what are we aiming to do? We work on healthy homes, healthy people, and healthy communities. And so we do that through direct service. We provide research, pilots, and inform the research community around healthy homes. We train, and then we advocate. We are also grounded in community, so our advocacy platform is built off of what people need or want, and then we also sit at decision-making tables. Most recently, we helped pass the Lead Safe law for the city of Cleveland. I'm part of leadership for Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition, and I'm the administrator for the Lead Safe Resource Center. So that scaled the prevention efforts we've been doing for decades, right? And so we're looking to continue to scale our work. We know it works. We've demonstrated that we had a capacity. Now we're moving to scale and really focusing on systems change work with that environmental justice frame and health equity frame, and bringing folks into spaces to advocate for themselves. Because a lot of times we're advocating for people. We really want people to learn the messaging and understand what they need, and then deal with root causes. So we've been really focused over the last few years on focusing on our systems change efforts with that environmental justice and equity at the center.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I wish to move this before the next council for a second reading.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's- all right.
Madam
Add my
Chair,
name.
would you please add
Thank
my
you.
name?
Okay. All right, well, I think that does it. These are great projects. Thank you, Councilman Tron. I love these environmental projects coming through District 6 and 11. All right.
Just remember, those were recommended out of the community.
I
within it.
understand. I'm
Yeah.
happy it's coming from the community and through
I know,
to
that's my
us.
point.
I know, I got it. So it's really organic, the shift now in environmental awareness and how important it is. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and I don't have any further business.